Alright. So I finished painting the base for that Canoptic Wraith before, and got another sneeze incoming. One sec. Oh! Yeah. Okay. So yeah, finished painting that Canoptic Wraith. Finished its I just completely lost my train of thought. Finished its base, and I'm thinking I've got this massive box of well, I've got this combat patrol that I got while I was in Japan that I still haven't opened yet. I think I should finally start getting these guys done. I've got an idea of what I want my color scheme to be, so let's just get straight into it. Yeah, so today I'm not going to be painting anything, I'm just going to be putting these dudes together. I don't know how many I'm going to build. We're only going to stream for 2 hours or so, 2.5 hours-ish. Probably not going to do the Immortals, because I've already got some Immortals that are built that I still have to paint. Death Marks could be cool. Overlord could be cool as well. I mean, the Night Scythe up here is very cool. That'd be a big investment, though. Actually, honestly, it might not be that hard. There's so many flat panels. That could be an interesting one to do. These dudes here, I imagine, are going to be a pain to build, just because of how compact they are, how many overlapping things there are. So I think these would be a pain to paint. I reckon, let's start with the Night Scythe. Just get the big fella out of the way. I reckon that'd be a fun one. That's right on the top, that's easy. I assume this is support for it to sit on. Just hang on to this for the time being. It's probably the stand for it. Put that there. This is a Night Scythe part. This will also be Night Scythe parts. It might just be these two panels, I'll just check. Are they numbered? Sheets numbered anywhere? 3, 2, 1, 2. Where's the Night Scythe? Doom Scythe is what it says in here. I think it's just the 2 bits, so we'll get this out of the way. Oh man, these have not aged well. Wow, that spring is completely buggered. This is rusted all hell. And oh my goodness. Okay, well, good thing I have this other pair of snippers. They don't have a spring, but they're probably going to be a lot more useful than this. Oh, can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear the... Oh, like the little click of the rust. Oh my goodness, that is not good. Alright, well, That's going straight in the bin. I got these other snippers here, so we'll use them. Where's my knife? And what else have I got in here? I'll get the file out. There's a spare knife here as well, just in case. And where's my... there's the file. Any other little bits we'll need? I think we should be right. It should be heaps. Okay, so let's just get straight to it. To do the night scythe, we're gonna start off. All right, now we're learning together here. I am not a beast at this sort of stuff, so I'm not just gonna freestyle it. I'm not that confident. We're gonna need D35 and D7. It's marked as D and all that sort of thing. Ah. It's looking for where it says D. Oh? How do I tell which panel is which? I guess I could just eyeball it. I know what they're talking about. So, 35 and 37 to start off with, and 34 and 36. So, where's our 35? It's these two at this end. $35. And 37, which is this one here. 1, 3. Well, we'll probably leave one of the thicker pins for the last ones, just so that you don't run the risk of snapping it. Let's get the thinner pins down here for 6, 7. All right, cool. 35 and 37. Let's get these cleaned up. So we'll just start by pinching these as close to the edge as we can. Yeah, I'm actually getting quite excited for this model here, because it looks really simple, but at the same time, there's enough details that I reckon I could make, like, there's room to make this thing look awesome. Also, it's just such a big model. Looks like most of the finicky detailing is going to be on the underside of it, where the guns and everything are. And I'm also going to give myself an absolute nightmare of a time with the top section here, because I really want to see if I can get some color inside these recesses. Because I did that with my with the Canoptic Wraith, and I really like how it turned out. I think these recesses are actually narrower than what the Canoptic Wraith has. So it could be a bit finicky. I'll probably need to water down the paint quite a lot to do it. Good. Pins off that one. And so, yeah, once I'm done here, I'm gonna clean up the little blank sections with my knife, just to make sure I get some nice smooth edges on it. Since I'm working a lot down here, I'll see if I can get this in the line of sight of the camera, just so it's easier to see what I'm doing. So I'll move everything over here. Because yeah, normally when I'm painting, my hands are up here, but I don't really need to do that as much here. So we'll have the focus pulled a bit more in, and maybe pull it out a little bit. Pull it out a little bit. Probably around about there is good. And so now we've taken all of the bits off of it. Now we just want to get rid of these little, if I can point it out, these little rough edges here. Just smooth it all out. This is just where we've taken those little pins off of it. I forget what they're called, but yeah. So, under normal circumstances, whenever you're using a knife, do not pull it towards yourself. But I am stupid, and so I regularly do this. So I end up with lots of tiny little cuts on the pad of my thumb. I'm not stupid. I absolutely am. Do not cut towards yourself with anything, ever. Yeah. But we'll just see if we can smooth it. Just a bit silly. True. And look, we can always do with a little bit of silliness. Oh my goodness. You cut towards yourself while you're in a cafe. Yikes. What were you cutting? Was this just like opening boxes? Your boss was ratting you? What does that mean? Okay. Oh my goodness, yikes. So, when you say it flays your finger, like, What do you mean by it? Like, how, like, where does it get you? Like, so are you cutting, like, back like this? It wasn't that bad, but funny. Okay. Sure. Stabbing from right to left. Right, okay. Right, okay, yeah. I reckon the worst I've done in a similar situation was when I was cutting open some pallet wrap at work. And I was cutting down, holding the plastic like this, and I was doing that with my Stanley knife, and my knife was a bit blunt, and it ended up spinning towards me and taking the end off my my index finger there. Didn't go too deep though, and so it was all right. I went in and got a tetanus shot, but it was all good. Oh man, I accidentally cut a bit deep there. You can see the little divot. Yuck. Just see if we can smooth this out by taking it all the way out to the end. There we go. It's a little better. Restart. I can't restart. That's not how this works. I do have some goo that I can use to sort of fix up little imperfections, but it's not omnipotent. Yeah, I must say this is probably like I guess the whole painting process is satisfying, but this is just like really chill. Just being able to sit here and just slowly carve away at little bits of plastic. Quite fun. You'll understand when you start building your orc armies, right? It'd make it good as a carpenter. Nah, I don't want to do that. I do feel like I definitely enjoy when I'm doing work and I can immediately see the results of what I'm doing. Yeah, like it's definitely more rewarding being able to immediately see like the fruits of your work. I think that's why I like doing this so much. Yeah, when you start building at some point in the future, trust me, it's really cheap. You can get into it whenever you want. Carpenter of small goods. Oh, okay, so I could be like the toy maker in what's the movie called? Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. was on the TV recently. I forgot how strange that movie was. You don't think you've seen it, mate? That movie traumatized me as a child. I was so scared of. It's like this family that has a flying car, and they end up going and getting like stranded in like a some European city. Every medieval movie has that one swordsman who's crafting stuff with a knife. Or just like sitting by the campfire with the knife, like sculpting a log. In Chitty Chitty Bang Bangs, like they end up in this medieval. Well, I don't know if it's medieval, but like in this European city, like castle town, where children are outlawed, and there's this man that like goes around for the king and queen, or the baron and the baroness, or whatever they are, and he like his like whole thing is he's the child catcher, and it scared the shit out of me as a kid. The movie is very strange. He catches all kind of children. All children were outlawed, so he'd catch all of them. And it's like I remember like this one scene that like freaked me out as a kid. It's the the mum and dad. The family. It's like there's a mum and dad and two kids, and the mum and dad have to like leave for a little bit, and they leave the kids like in the basement of this toy maker's house because they know that kids are in danger. And the child catcher shows up in town in like a little carriage. This is a movie. This is a movie. And the child maker, or like the child catcher knows that there are kids somewhere in the town, and he like shows up in a carriage with like bells and shit, and starts like dancing through the streets, like trying to lure them out. And like the kids are like, it's so fucking freaky. Like, you can probably find this scene on YouTube. It's crazy. This scared me so much. But like watching it recently, like the movie is really funny. It's just like so strange. So much whack stuff just happens constantly. It was like the era when film was like kind of theater. I wasn't afraid of so yeah, basically what the child catcher would do is he'd get like he'd lure the kids out, and like once they're in the street he'd like dance with them and like invite them over to his horse-drawn cart, which he's like promising that there's ice cream and stuff inside, and it's like all like brightly decorated and stuff. And then he like lures them up the back of it into like inside the cart, and then once they go inside, he like slams the door shut behind them, and like the facade of the cart all falls apart instantly. It's like tearaway clothes. So it's just like a single set piece, and it just reveals that they've been like put in a cage, and then he starts cackling and like takes them off to the castle where they're locked up because the baron and the baroness they hate kids, or they're like terrified of kids. And like, also like throughout the whole movie, the Baron is like constantly trying to kill the Baroness, but he just can't. And so, and the whole time he's also like pretending that he loves her, and she's like super into him. So it's really fucking weird. It's very weird describing old kids movies. Yeah, no, I think this movie was crazy. I feel like this isn't just like a kids movie. This is back when kids movies were family movies, and it was from that era. Like I was saying, it's from that era of filmmaking where film was like still really close to theater, and so there was like the way that shots were composed and all that sort of thing. It was all like really, I don't. It was all like really stage like, and like I don't know. It's really cool watching those movies. It's also back in the era when movies were not afraid to be batshit insane, and so they'd just do weird shit, and it'd be so funny. Yeah, an absolute classic. Okay, I think this piece is mostly done now. Let's click together. No, looks like I'll need to glue them. I'll I'll sit them together like this for the time being. Okay, so that's one wing. Yeah, they don't click together. So now we do the other one. One thing I noticed when I was doing that one is I forgot that you want to, when I'm cutting the sprues here, you want to cut with the taper of the jaw. See how it's you want to cut with the taper of the jaw away from the mini, because otherwise you can pinch the plastic. You have it right up against the mini, and then that's how you end up with dents. I am making a Necron. It's either a Doomwing or a Nightwing. I can't be sure because I think the Japanese name is different, and so the booklet, so the box calls it an. Oh, sorry, the box calls it a Night Scythe, and the instructions call it a Doom Scythe. It's one of those. I'll show you which one it is. One sec. That's this big fella here. That's what I'm making. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with what I've done with the color scheme for my Necrons. So that's why I want to get this this box of all the minis out of the way so that I can get onto other stuff. Because I've still got the massive Leviathan box that I got while I was in Japan as well, which has a shitload of Space Marines and Tyranids in it. But I've had these Necrons sitting around for so long, and I really like what I did with the color scheme. So I want to finish them all up and have a nice display of them. Okay, So, now for this, again, I'm gonna just cut the sprues, but not right up against the mini, because otherwise I'll pinch the plastic. I'll just get rid of most of it with the nippers, and then I'll come in with my knife to get rid of the remaining little bits. Oh, I might have pinched that. No, it's good. So many sprues on these wings. That one didn't go through all the way. There we are. Yeah, I feel like for how much or how many Necrons I make and how much I like Necrons as a faction, I know next to nothing about the actual units. Like, I know like so much cool lore stuff, but I know like nothing about the units in game. Like, I feel like that would be something that I should probably know when I'm making when I'm building them and painting them so much. But it is what it is. I think the cool undead robot guys are pretty awesome, and that's all that matters, right? I feel like for other factions, it's there are some more self-explanatory ones. Like you get like the orcs, and it's like, do you need to know what the different orc units are? Not really. You look at them and you know what they are. Okay, so now we can go back through with the knife. I'm going to have so much plastic on my desk when I'm done here. It's gonna take me weeks to find all the little bits. Yeah, so when I'm using my knife to clean up these little bits of the sprues that are left over, I always make sure I cut it in one direction, then I spin it around and cut it back the other way. Because the first cut, what it often does is it will push the plastic and flatten it over. So you can see here, I cut that way and it's pushed it and flattened it over. So just to get a nice smooth finish, we're going to flip it around and then cut back the other way, getting underneath that little lip that we made. And now we're pretty good. Uh-oh, did I go too deep there? No, I didn't. It's just a thick sprue. Also, like with cutting with a kitchen knife, it's good to, or it's easiest to cut with the fat part of the knife, just because you get the most leverage there. you're less likely to slip than if you're doing the tip. Especially because you're applying so much pressure. It can be quite sketchy if you're trying to cut with just the tip of the blade. This one here I'm going to work on a little bit because I think I've made a little bit of a lump there that I want to pull back, but I've got to be careful not to end up making a dent instead. That's probably enough. I can feel it when I scratch it with my fingernail, which is annoying, but I don't want to go too far and make a little dent in the side of it. So many little plastic shavings that are going to be all over my desk. Uh-oh. That was a bit of a bad cut I just did. Ah, well. Uh-oh. I already know what the song is. Get it out of here. Yucky. There we are. I'm so traumatized by that song. I know it immediately. Yeah, I probably should make a separate playlist specifically without that song in it so that I don't have to skip it every time. But I am lazy. By the way, is the audio balance good now? Is my is the music too loud, or have I got it pretty good now? Because I noticed when I was listening back through, and you guys had mentioned as well previously that the music was a bit loud compared to me. But is it quieter now? Is it more of BGM rather than just the main thing? Because I can make it quieter. This is a bit of a sketchy bit to cut. There's not much to hang on to here. There we are. Oh, that's a nice cut. Oh, actually, I got to go back this way again. There we are. That's good. Music balance is fine. Cool. Oh man, I knew that was going to happen. I accidentally just cut straight through and hit the plastic. I didn't go too deep though, so I don't think it'll be noticeable. Then we come back in from this direction. Now for this, I'm scared of going into it, so when I'm doing these inside edges here, one thing that I'm always cautious of is cutting and then going through and lodging into a part of the model. So what I'm doing instead is when I'm cutting, I'm angling the knife away from it so that when I come through, I don't run the risk of cutting into the mini itself. And then I can sort of come back through once I've gotten rid of the worst of it. G'day, g'day, hello, Lael. Everyone, oh wow, everyone's showing up now. And so yeah, like I was saying before, but the most of the time you don't want to use the tip of the knife because you run the risk of just slipping and ruining everything. But for there are tiny little bits, like I've got a little bit of overhang here on the inside edge. That's a bit where I just use the tip of the knife just to try to shave it back a little bit. Just for only very precision stuff is where I actually use the tip of the blade. But for most of the time, you just want to use the heel of the knife because you get the most pressure and the most control. Yeah, these inside edges are always a bit tedious to do because you can see I've been working away at this sprue here for a bit, but you can see it still has a bit of a lump on it there. I'm just trying to smooth that down because that will be visible when the final product is done. Is this the wings of something? Yeah, I was just saying to Ben before when he asked. I am building this fella here. So it's going to end up being pretty big. I think this might be the biggest model I've done, but I think it's going to be relatively easy because it's a lot of smooth paneling. Most of the detail work is going to come in the edges here, inside edges, and then, whoops, and these grooves on the top. Well, actually, there's going to be guns down the bottom, but for the most part, it's a lot of smooth panels, so I think it'll be pretty straightforward to paint. The thing is, I always say that before I start painting something, and then I realize that there's actually way more detail than I was expecting, and I'll spend hours on it. Am I going to texture it? No, I don't think I'm going to texture it per se, but I'm going to do what I can to make the top of the model interesting. Because I'm not sure if you saw the Canoptic Wraith that I did, the one that I was doing the base for. But I played around with doing some blending in the light effects on its back, just to add a bit of interest, because the Canoptic Wraith also had a lot of smooth panels on its back. But I feel like I managed to do a decent job of making it visually interesting without adding texture to it. I think that's all of the sprues from this one. Looks pretty smooth. We'll go to the next one. man, I don't like this. I'm building up a lot of tension on this and it's not going. I'm absolutely going to slip and make a mess of this. Ow. Got my thumb. There we are. I might need to replace the knife blade at some point. It's cutting, but it could probably cut better. Oh, is that going deep? No, it's not. I'm pulling up. Oh, no, it did go deep. Damn it. Damn it. No, you see that? It's, maybe this is because the knife is blunt. It tore a bit there. I should be able to, fix it with the goo that I have. I think I can repair it. Not the end of the world. I'll just smooth out what I can. And then see if we can just fix that up. Yeah, no, don't worry. You thought I were gonna slice my finger. No, I'm generally... Oh, I can see in the replay where my thumb was. Yeah, that is pretty sketchy. No, I did that a few times in Japan. I haven't gone deep with it though. Like the worst I've gotten is just like lots of lines on the pad of my thumb where I've pulled back into it, and it's just like broken a couple of layers of skin. But yeah, I'm pretty careful with the. Actually, okay, I can't say I'm pretty careful. I was just saying earlier that I'm an idiot. But yeah, I don't think I'll be slicing my thumb anytime soon. Hopefully. Don't have any scars, thankfully, no. I was saying this to Ben earlier, but when at work, I have sliced the tip of my index finger off, cutting open a pallet. But other than that, I've been pretty good. Think of the views. No, I'm not gonna cut my finger for views. I think there's gonna be negative views. I'm gonna get the video demonetized. It's not even monetized to begin with. Am I kidding? I don't know if it can get like search throttled or not though for being declared for inappropriate or for mature audiences. Not that my stuff is showing up in search engines anyway. Oh wow, that one cut easily. Take a finger. Okay, that would definitely get my video removed. I'm not doing that. Also, I kind of like my fingers. It's not... why is my first response, that's getting my video removed? Not, I don't want to cut my finger off. I'm just too content-minded. Look, if it didn't get my video removed, I'd think about it. Oh, amateur painter slices finger while painting Necrons. That'd be an insane YouTube short. Just me cutting my finger off with a hobby knife. And then link to the full stream. Oh my goodness. Oh, I accidentally just cut too deep there. We'll be fixing that one up as well. Followed up by 5 safety tips. All acted out by me missing my finger. And for the whole thing, I just have the missing finger just sitting on the bench somewhere in the background. Honestly, I feel like there could be some content to be made there. Like, of me, like, I could probably make a video where it looks like I've cut my finger off. And then... and then we do that. That could be an idea. There's something to explore there. That was a tough one to cut through. It's mainly smoothed over, so I gotta go back from this direction. And then back from this way again. Oh, I might be going a bit deep there. It's not too bad. Like, that's one of the really important things about a model that's this smooth overall, is just doing my best to make sure I get these sprue joins as smooth as possible, because when there's so little physical interest on these parts, the little sprue joins become very obvious once it's painted. So once I'm done with that, I'm gonna come back through with this goo here and try to fix it up. I might need to shake this up a bit though, because you can see all the stuff, or a lot of the stuff is settled down the bottom there. Use the goo on my missing finger. Look, if I was made of plastic, that might work. But you see, the issue is the way I make that goo is I drop the chopped off bits of mini, like the chopped off bits of mini into plastic cement. So I wouldn't have the missing finger anymore because I'd need to make goo out of the missing finger. Or maybe do I just melt down the end of my missing finger so that I can use it to join the rest of it back on? Alright, I think this sounds mostly good. So, we've got the wings done now, I think. How does it sit in? It sits in like that. So we got those bits. I think now it's the body and the little man who's riding in it that we need to do. So where's that? We go over to D9 and D10. I believe that's these ones here. Where are our numbers? It's 10, that's 9. Cool. There's one. Didn't get that one properly. And there's 2. Losing track of which ones I've already chopped. I think I'm up to here. Yeah, seems right. We have already done that one. I don't think I'm getting that one off cleanly, so we'll just go up to here. And now I can come back through with the knife. This one's a bit more awkward to hold on to than the wings that we were just doing. It's a bit harder to brace. It's just a big flat panel. Yeah, this is, looking at the size of the body of this is definitely going to be the biggest mini I've done. Although what I want to really do is, and I normally hold myself back from talking about random Warhammer stuff to to people, but you're in my Warhammer mini building stream, you can listen to Warhammer shit. Is once one of the big reasons I'm like really knuckling down and trying to get through all these Necrons is because I want to have an excuse to buy more minis. In particular, I want to get some Thousand Suns Chaos Space Marines, and I also want to get the, like, some Demon Engines and paint them up to be Thousand Suns, because they're pretty big as well. I'm not sure if they'll be bigger than this, but, it's just so fucking cool. I wasn't really a big fan of, Chaos, but the Thousand Suns are just really, really cool. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of, or the lore on them isn't that abundant. They're all like, they're all psychers, and they're like, have like Egyptian styling and stuff, and it's all really neat. And they're also just nice guys. But also, most of them are, since they're all psychers, most of them are Chaos Sorcerers, and I think Chaos Sorcerers are very cool. Ooh, this is a bit of an awkward cut. I think I made a mess of that. Oh, no, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. We can clean it up. Uh-oh, that was a bad one. Oh, it was a bad one, but I cut it pretty flatly anyway, so it should be fine. Yeah, I cut off the corner, so it shouldn't be very noticeable. Oh, that's a bad angle. There we are, that'll be better. Just gonna cut up and away from the mini here because I'm scared of going into it. Ow! Didn't cut myself there, just rammed the tip of my thumb onto a corner. No! Look, that's why I keep trying to cut up and away from the mini. What I did there was I went, and then I was pulling towards myself with this hand, and I ended up pulling and curling down and chopping into there. You can see that little bit lifted up. It's not too bad though, thankfully. It's just frustrating, because I'm gonna, even if no one else notices it, I'm gonna notice it. I think that's all the sprues for this bit. Oh, I just noticed there's the legs of the little man right here. I didn't see that at first. Is the upper body of him here? No. Okay, the upper body of him is somewhere else. Alright, well, let's do the sprues for the top half. Okay. I'll need to pinch away some of the excess just to make my life easier. Again, I'm cutting with the flat part of the nippers away from the side of the mini so that I don't pinch the plastic and make some dents in it. This is just getting rid of the worst of it so that it's less awkward for me to go through with my knife. And now we can use the knife. Since the man's legs aren't here on this one, it's easier for me to brace because I can put a finger through there, so that's nice. And then we'll go back this way. Let's try to get the knife underneath that little clip and just forward like that. Go. And here, since I'm cutting towards a bit of the mini, I'm being very gentle because I don't want to fly through and chop into that. I accidentally went a bit deep there. So I'll need to fix that with some goo as well. And yeah, whenever I'm cutting a sprue, I always do the first cut away from the bulk of the mini because the first cut is harder, and so you're more likely to slip and fly out and hit something behind it. One just fell over. I'm scared that that just pulled up a section of it, but it seems to be pretty smooth. I think there's a little dent in it. It should be right for the most part, though. And I always forget how time-consuming it is. Just the assembling part can be, because like, been at it for just over an hour now, and this is. Actually, I'm probably almost there. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm probably about halfway. Because I've done what? This is my 4, 5. This is the 6th piece that I'm cleaning up here. And there's going to be a lot of little fiddly bits, and I'm really bad at doing the little fiddly bits. I always snap something. Uh-oh, did I cut something there? No, I think no, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, I heard a click, but I think I cut through it and then tapped the flat of my blade here. But I didn't actually cut anything. Okay, that's that bit done. So, the main body of it is pretty much ready, I think. Got these bits, and then this one goes in here. Maybe it goes in the other side. Let's just see how it would assemble. That. that 1 bit fell out, but okay, whatever, 2 bits fell out, but that's the sort of size we're looking at. They're looking pretty cool. Yeah, definitely the bigger one of the, yeah, I think this is the biggest model I've done. Oh, it's upside down because the little man's legs are there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm losing bits. Now I don't know which one went with which. I don't know if it matters. This one seems to fit this one. So if they weren't partnered up before, they are now. The designs seem to match up, so we'll say it's fine. Okay. Next up. Oh, okay. There's a lot of really gross little tiny bits that I've got to do. A bunch of little things labeled D1. I think this is sheet D here. I'm not seeing number 1. Oh no, I found him. This is sheet D. It's these little bits. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 8 of them. Yucky. Oh, this is what I was saying before. I hate doing these little tiny bits. I always mess them up. So let's start with 2 of them. Yeah, these things are the worst because they're really easy to A, snap off bits of, and B, cut yourself with because they're just so hard to brace. Start with 2 of them. Yeah, this is what we're doing. Are there any spare parts? Usually not. No. So if you break off a bit, you've got to fix it. Yeah, if you snap a tiny piece, you just need to fix it. There's not much forgiveness. Thankfully, the little edges here, they seem to be, or the little claws seem to be pretty thick, so I don't run too much risk of snapping them. But sometimes they're really thin, and they put a sprue on them, and I hate it when they do that. Because then you're pretty much guaranteed to snap it. Thankfully, these are tiny and fiddly, but they don't seem to be flimsy. Oh yeah, these are the ones where I put tiny little slices in my fingers with, because I always go through them and hit the tip of my finger. Like I just did. I didn't cut myself there, but I did hit my finger. And that's just how you get like really little nicks in the surface of your skin. Oh, that's 1 done. Put it here so it doesn't get mixed up in the pile of scrap. Did I go a bit deep? I think I went a bit deep on that one. Just gonna need to smooth it out by taking the end off. That's one of the things that really annoys me about these as well, is, like I mentioned, for the for smooth bits, where there's not a huge amount of detailing, if there are sprue marks visible, they show up really clearly when you finish painting. These are bits where I really notice the sprue marks through my paint job. Which is annoying because there's usually so many sprues on these tiny little things. And there's so many tiny little things. Like I've got 8 of these and each of these has 3 sprues. One of them, thankfully, is not visible because it's going to be glued in. Hey, Reese. But, like these 2 on the claw are so frustrating because I need to get them smooth. Otherwise, I will notice the little bits of, or the little bumps in my paint. Okay, that's 2 of 8 down. Let's keep going. Oop, nearly chopped off part of it there. Oh, actually, I think this has come 3 just with those, or come 3 with just those ones. Oh, I should have chopped it. I've just made a mess of that. Actually, it's not too bad. And that is why we always leave the big sprue for last, because otherwise you just make, otherwise you run the risk of snapping parts of it. Okay, I didn't lose track of it. My carpet may be grey, but I didn't lose track of it. Oh my goodness. Okay. I need to stop dropping this. I will lose it. Oh, I am absolutely going to nick myself doing this. Very careful. You can see I'm sort of, it's like I'm sharpening it upwards because I'm trying to just take the edges off as much as I can of this little sprue so that it's easier to get through in the end. Otherwise, I'm going to go straight into my finger. Right, I think I should have gotten rid of enough. No. Alright, I'm just sharpening this down until there's nothing left. It's a lot of pressure. Also, another kind of annoying thing, not frustrating, but kind of annoying thing, is when I get rid of these tiny little bits of plastic, I see them fly off into the ether, and I am not going to find that. So my carpet is going to be so full of little grainy bits of plastic. Okay, I'm just going to file this down because I'm not having much luck. Oh, this last sprue is so massive. Okay. Yeah, I think what I'm just going to do for this last sprue every time is I'm just going to snip it and then file it. Because it is not safe to go through that with the knife. Hey, halfway there for the little bits. For these little bits. There are going to be more little bits, don't worry. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3. Oh. Accidentally made a mess of this one, so I'm having to shave back a fair bit of it just to keep it smooth. Oh, yuck. Yeah, that's really not good. Alright, have to put this one in and out of somewhere out of the way. Oh. Let's see, how hot is my camera getting? It's getting pretty warm. I don't think it's going to overheat. And last two. 2, 3. Oh, didn't lose it. It's all good. And 2, 3. Yeah, I know I've been saying for when snipping that I like to keep the flats of the nippers away from the model, but for this bit I know it's going to be getting glued, so I'm not too worried about it. So I'm just cutting as close as I can just so that I can save myself as much effort as possible, because even if it gets a little deformed, it doesn't matter too much. Less material in this case is better than more. Got a fair bit to file back on this one. It's looking pretty good now. Just get that last edge off. And that should be good. So now we've got our 8 little... Oh, no, there's one more. Got ahead of myself. This face of my file's gotten so blocked out that I'm needing to swap to a different one. To rinse it out when I'm done. Cool. So now that's all 8 teeny bits. Now the way we do this is there's no moving parts here, so we can just start gluing these bits together. So now for one of the fun bits. We're gonna start by just seeing how all this goes together. Okay, so these bits, so we've got the wings and these tiny little bits here. The wings have got these holes in them that these need to fit into. So before I start gluing anything, I'm just going to make sure these little bits do fit into these holes nice and well. Because if they don't fit properly, then I want to file them down so that they do fit. But overall, this one's a bit... Oh, yep, that's in. Yeah, they all seem to fit pretty well. There's 2 spare, but I trust that I've done a good enough job. And because the 2 spare, I imagine, are going to go on here somewhere. So, we can start to use the glue. So I can get high off some fumes. Let's bundle up all of these dudes so I don't lose track of any of them. Now, we're using plastic cement. Just gonna wipe off the excess. Just brush it onto the points that we're going to be. I'm going to brush it on the inside edges because I don't want it to flow out and be visible when we're done. Because what this does is it does melt down the it does melt the plastic. So if you're not careful, you can end up with some gross smears. So that's why I'm being careful not, because I could just apply it to every surface, but then I'm running the risk of getting some gross smears where I don't want to see them. Got to be pretty quick because it's going to start to dry. There we are. And let's see, get that to sit down in there. Come on, find the holes. There we are. And we'll just get a nice squeeze. And I think they're taken. Yeah, I can feel there's a bit of, I can feel it grabbing. So we'll let that sit and let's do the other one. Oh, can you smell that? No, you can't, but I can. Delicious. It's like, I don't know if it's just me, but it smells faintly like banana. Like underneath the the toxic smell of glue, there's this like banana undertone. Do all solvents smell like banana? I'm genuinely curious. Okay, there we are, and try to press them together. Just like that. Cool, and this one's probably set enough that I can work with it. And so 3 of our pins are going in there. So we'll apply them to the pin rather than the bit we're sticking it into, because we don't want to risk getting it on the outside edges. New stream. Smelling every solvent to see which one smells the best. Gone wrong. I get high. The I get high needs to be in brackets. It needs to be in the square brackets inside the gone wrong brackets. that could just be a video. I just get like terps, methylated spirits, and white spirits, plastic cement. It's just me huffing them. And describing the smells of each of them. Halving my lifespan in one video, sure, but improving my quality of life for the duration of that recording session. Also, think of the clout. Look, if cutting my finger off gets me videos or gets me views, then imagine how, like, I'm not gonna hold back just for smelling some solvents. Cool. We got these little bits here. They're all glued now. What's next? Now we get the half that has the man's legs, and we glue them down onto him. So the way it sits in there, I think it just goes straight in like that. There's no top or bottom, I don't think. Yeah, there's no top or bottom, so we'll just sit it in like that. Might do it this side just because I think the surface is a little nicer on that face. Actually, no, overall the mold is better with this facing up. Do it like that. So when that sits in there, that whole section is hidden. So we are going to apply the cement. Pretty much this whole face here. Just like that. And then while that dries, we'll get the other one prepped. Cool. That's sitting nicely. And then we put the top half on it. Just like that. Just need to make sure I can... Yep, okay, cool, it sits down nicely. And our main points of contact are... I think they're all over, honestly. easiest ones to work with will be the ones on the wings. So I think we'll focus our stuff there. I'm going to do a couple of points of contact back here just so that it's at least sealed on multiple faces. But I'm not going to focus too much on it. Okay. Main body is coming together nicely. And now that we've got this put together, I can see the points where the last two pins need to go in. So I can do those and I won't have any little bits floating around, running the risk of getting lost. Also, these act as, although not the best, they also act as a nice little point of contact to keep the whole thing glued together. Cool. Looking pretty good. That's one of the things that's really fun about this is after, like, as you start gluing everything together and it starts finally becoming this 3D shape from all this crap that you've been cutting out from these sheets, it's nice once it starts to take form and you can, like, hold it in your fist. Yeah. This is probably the most solid one that I've done as well. So, from here, what have we got now? D29 and D8. Oh, we're building the man. This one I'm pretty sure is D. No, this is not D. This one is D. Where are we? Okay, so that's D8. Is this his steering column or something? I think it's his steering wheel. D29 I think is his chair. Okay, yeah, here's his chair, D29. And here's his steering wheel. Oh, that one jumped. through it there, you can see I peeled up a section. Should be able to smooth it out. Yeah, it's pretty shallow. When that happens, I just drag the knife the whole way through and just try to make it a little smooth slice rather than a dent. And it's not too noticeable because I peated it out. You can't really see. Oh, this is a tough one to cut. Yeah, I definitely need to change my knife blade because this thing struggles. I think I have spares in there. Yeah, I do. I will change it out after this stream. You can see the tip of this blade started to rust a little bit as well. Not sure if... Yeah, there you can see a little bit of rust on the very tip. Probably shouldn't be cutting things in such close proximity to myself with a rusted blade. Now that I think about it. Ah, well. What's the worst that can happen? Bit of tetanus never hurt anyone. Yeah, just getting, yeah, exactly, just 10 times my daily amount of iron. Look, it's, we min-max here. Rust is a superfood, true. It's it's like that guy who could just eat metal, like he just had the gut bacteria that let him digest metal, or dissolve metal. Like, it's just, we take shortcuts here. Why bother eating, like, red meat? Just step on a rusty nail. It's like the same thing. Alright. Again, I don't think there are any moving parts for this. I'm not sure if I want to glue these bits in or not. I don't know how. I'm going to look at the picture and see how cramped it ends up being. Not super cluttered. Yeah, I can probably afford to glue this in. Actually, while I'm looking at the picture, I can just put the thing there and just see what it looks like. Yeah, I reckon this is fine. It's not going to get in the way of too much. That's his steering wheel, and this is his chair. Goes in like that. So, oh, pop the lid on my favorite banana scented plastic cement. Oh yes, delicious. I love me some adhesives. Oh, yep, okay, that hits the spot. Okay, that's his chair, and then just his steering column. Put a teeny little bit there. And stick that fella down. Is this his steering column, or is this like his food tray? Because it just sits right there on his... I reckon this is his food tray, honestly. Have his little snackies while he flies around, obliterating the enemies of the oh man, I should have... Oh, I made a mess of it. Look at this. I can't unsee this anymore. See that? No. No. I'm not happy. Is it anywhere else? Not really. A little bit in some places. Okay. Emergency repairs. See, there are some... I didn't glue this front bit down, and so now there's a bit of movement when I squeeze it. Right here under my finger. So, I'm gonna have to get my brush in there, the brush that does the adhesive. So, we are gonna smooth it off and flatten it. The issue... is it sealable with the goo? The issue is I don't want it to be too smooth. Like, the goo is gonna cause some issues with it melting, because the goo is still the plastic cement. Hang on. I might be able to apply a bit of the cement to the knife blade and then just slip the knife blade through the cracks. If this works, I am a super genius. This is a Jimmy Neutron idea right here. Oh my goodness. Let's see, does it work? Oh, I might be a boy genius. Oh, that can work, that can work. I saw it start to grab. Boy genius. Let's get the tip of the blade in. Slide that back. Drag it on through. And then we do the same here. Drag it on through. And now we squeeze it and we hope for the best. I think I am a super genius, an evil mastermind. this works, I expect donations, super chats, and lots of love. Especially the lots of love part. I don't know how long I need to hold this, but I'm going to hold it extra long just in case, because I know for a fact as soon as I let go of it, it's going to stop working. And at that point, I will end the stream. Moment of truth. If this doesn't work, stream ends. If this does work, then I let out a scream. Actually, I don't think I like that deal. My throat's kind of sore. 3, 2, 1. I am a super genius! Okay. Holy moly, why am I so cool? Actually, never mind, it's coming loose. I'm gonna need to put a little bit more on the tip of the knife. Just for this right-hand section, because there wasn't as much glue for that. Oh yeah. I think we're looking good. What other bits have I got to do for this? Because it's nowhere near done. These are all the bits that still need to be cut out. So I'm not going to be finishing this today. I'll probably finish building it off stream, so that for the next time I stream I can get into painting it. But yeah, let's just see, because I might want to put a couple of little bits in. No, next up is building the man, which is a lot of fiddly stuff, and that'll take me a while. So I reckon, with that holding, I reckon we've done pretty well for the day. We've made some good progress. We've built the man, or we've built the ship. What's left is we build the man, and we put the guns underneath, and then we'll start painting. But I'll do the rest of the building off stream, and then yeah, we'll be ready for this when next time I stream I'll be painting it. So thanks for dropping by, gamers. And yeah, I'll catch you all later. Finally, bye.